Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host here, Chantele Francis. Up top, we have with me today, we have...
Brazil.
Woohoo! Brazil's in the house! Hi. And down below, we have today...
Hi, it's Tanya.
Hi, Tanya.
Hello.
How are you? Woo! Well, if it's your first time on Reality Realness, well, then welcome. And if you're coming back, well, thank you for joining us again. Please leave questions, comments in the chat box because we definitely love talking to you about what's going on with The Bachelorette, season 16, episode 6. Now, Bill and I have not talked yet about the end of the Claire season. So I would like to see here, Brazil, what you thought about how they buttoned up the Claire Chronicles, and now we are into the land of Tayshia.
Oh, Claire sucks.
What does that mean?
I can't stand her. I liked her so much more before she became the Bachelorette. But like now I feel like I'm watching the Bachelorette since Tayshia's been on TV. So now I'm happy, but I still don't believe them. You're not gonna ever change my mind on that. And yeah, I don't know. They're just boring.
Brazil believes that they had to have been communicating beforehand. I honestly though think that she really went deep into a cyber stalking. Like I think she just went deep. I don't think that they actually communicated because it seems like he's had to catch up to where she is. You know what I mean? And so I think it's one-sided. And he's like, I'm on the Bachelorette and I need to say yes to this because nobody's ever left her, and like she, you know what I mean? And like I think he got pressured. He's also wanting to have, have the title, win the girl, like be her man or whatever. So I think that all that came into play. I actually don't think that they communicated before because I think he would learn that he doesn't really like her, and maybe even vice versa. So Tanya, what is your overall thoughts of this particular episode? I guess it's the full second of the Tayshia Chronicles.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty entertaining episode, to be honest, in terms of when I was talking to you in messages, you're like, oh, it's back to batch messiness. And that really resonated with my experience with it as well. I was like, oh, this nonsense. And thanks to La Quinta for giving us their conference rooms this episode. Really gorgeous setting for these dream dates on The Bachelorette. Woof.
So true. Starting off the episode, I thought that Tayshia looked super cute. And I don't know if you guys noticed it, but throughout the entire episode, I found that her makeup got better and better and better. I think we found like maybe a makeup artist that's like really working with her because she's always been gorgeous, but her makeup this episode, she looked fire every single time. And she's wearing this green outfit. I don't know if it was romper or if it was a dress, but it was a cute minty green color. And I was like, she looks so cute. We have Cassandra in the house. Hello. How are you today? What do you think about the episode so far? Last night's. Okay, so what happens here? So there's going to be a group date. The group date's going to have Montel, who? Ivan, one of your favorites, Brazil, Damar, Chasen, Ed, and Ben, and Dr. Joe. What the heck happened to Chasen though? Like he went from someone that I was like, okay, he's kind of cute, and he had like a little moment with Claire to becoming like a villain, Wolverine. Like what happened, Tanya? What happened? What happened here?
We were fooled. We were absolutely led to pasture, and we were wrong. And we thought that Noah was going to be the villain of this episode, but little did we know that Chasen would emerge as the real villain of this episode. Honestly, he always seemed kind of off to me, but he really showed himself this time around in this episode as being like clearly insecure about the fact that normally, I guess, his looks probably get him pretty far, but in this setting, it doesn't seem to be working for him, and his personality is not great. So it's not really happening for our friend Chasen this up.
I have to say, you'd probably be happy about this, Brazil, but Dr. Joe got, I believe it's his first confessional, and he talked about people in the house and stuff like that. I was like, who is this guy? I thought Dr. Joe only talked to other people or listened. Like,
Mhm.
are you happy, Brazil? You're anesthesiologist.
Yeah, no, I think he's just funny too. Like when they cut to him in the wrestling scene, and he's like, "I think you have really nice eyes. I think you're a nice guy." Like he's just like complimenting the other guy to like be funny and like make light of the situation. So yeah, I don't know. It's nice to see more of the guys that Claire didn't even say hi to for the 2 weeks that she saw them.
True. She treated them so poorly. So Tayshia mentions that she brought a couple of friends. Did you guys know in advance that it was going to be Jared and Ashley I?
I knew
From the preview.
but yeah, but before that, I thought it was gonna be Hannah Ann and Maddie.
They must be coming in down the road because I know that all these people quarantine. I didn't actually hear that Ashley I quarantine or Jared, but what do you guys think about that relationship? Actually, Tanya, let's hear what you think because I think I've heard what Brazil thinks about them. But yeah, what do you think about Ashley I and Jared? How their inception story and now they're in love and married for a year?
I think that the obsession with this fairy tale romance is totally ridiculous with those two. And if I was in her position and things played out the way they played out, I would never have continued to put myself in these embarrassing situations to try and get this guy to like me. Like, he's not that great. But I think everything about them is just about their image. Now, like, they just constantly post basically sponsored content, including their wedding, and it's about as fake as they are. So maybe they're a good match for each other, but I'm very, very over them in Bachelor Nation. I feel like they kind of carted them out because there's been so many breakups of like important Bachelor couples basically this year. So they needed somebody to come in there that they could be like, remember, it works. But I don't need for it to be them at all.
Yeah, Jade and Tanner are just boring. So
Yeah.
like I like them more than I like Ashley and Jared, but they're on their like 8th kid and
Yeah.
Like Tristan and Ryan?
No,
I'm talking
Jade
about
and Tanner are boring.
Oh,
Like as someone else they could bring in that's recent.
I mean, not boring having your baby in a closet. I'm like, I thought that was exciting.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Also, though, I talked about Jared and Ashley I. Please don't come for me. It's just an opinion, guys. But I really felt like she was obviously going for him, and he kept on shutting her down. And then she started like dating other people, and then all of a sudden, like, it's piqued his interest now, and he wants to get with her. And then he kisses her while she was dating. I think it was Kevin, if I'm not mistaken. And then I really do think, though, that he only said yes to her because he wanted to be famous, or like get more clout, because he went to do, I think it was Bachelor in Paradise Australia or somewhere overseas, and he wasn't that well received. Like nobody thought he was that hot, nobody cared about him, and so I think he came back and was like, oh, I'm not as cool as I thought I was, I can't do this on my own, like maybe I need to get my side piece being Ashley I, that we can go and market ourselves together. So I definitely feel that it's basically an arranged marriage on Jared's part.
Yeah.
We've got Jay Jobs in the house. Wow, the whole gang is together. Hello. Yes, we are. We're talking about the Bachelorette, which is like, what I like talking about it though is that it's just kind of light. Like, even though some of the issues are a little bit more dark, like, I just don't feel heavy when I'm talking about it. Like, it's still kind of fun. So that's why I'm happy that we're still going through with this season, even though I don't know.
This season just started, season 17, y'all.
Wait, Jay Jobs, you're usually pretty bang on about your thoughts here. You think ouch for Jared? Really?
I don't get the appeal at all.
He's not good looking. Like,
he's a little.
Ashley's undying love for him like boosts him to some level where like maybe more people might think he's like hotter, but he's definitely not that big of a catch. Like, come on.
That just says agreed about Ashley and Jared. Ashley is way out of his league too. Yeah, like if you look aesthetically, I think that she's way prettier than he is good looking. Sad how desperate she was. Well, I mean, she was really inexperienced, and like it was kind of like a high school crush that she had on the boy, and then the boy finally said yes to her, and so I think that she just kind of snagged that opportunity. But I wonder if she just realizes that he's not actually that cool now, and she's like, why am I married to this guy? He's kind of a loser.
Yeah.
I wonder. Okay, so they have to go on this grown man challenge. They have like a bust for him holding a baby with wearing like an apron, and they have all these little silly competitions. Now, my first thought when I saw these competitions was this the date that Claire didn't have, that she decided to like not have the day and
I
like
think so.
cocktail portion? Yeah, you agree?
I think, well, she said it was supposed to be sex ed or something, so I think it was something similar, but same use of space, probably the same bed.
Probably, right? That same conference room, meeting room too.
That conference room had very high ceilings. I was like, huh.
Well, it could be maybe a ballroom. They might have a ballroom in like the resort for
the reception.
The reception of like a wedding or something like that. So they might have like one of those big rooms. But
my grade 3-4 split classroom is what it looked like.
J-Job says, Chantele, I am no fan of Ashley and Jared. I back you 100%.
Okay.
You had me worried there.
You're with us.
Hi, Nick. How are you? Thanks for joining the live. Okay, so they had this spelling math competition that was very easy. Like adding numbers. Okay, adding time is a little bit challenging. Sometimes you can't wrap your head around it because you start thinking in hundreds instead of 60s. I understand how you could mess up on time maybe. But like the question that Bennett is so rude about with like the reducing the roses one, I was just like it's not that hard. It's like, oh, you take away 2, you take away 5, you take away 6 or whatever it was. Like it wasn't even a complicated one where I could side with him that like, okay, it was poorly worded. What did you think about how Bennett came across in the beginning of this challenge? Tanya.
I think the guys were surprised that this person that went to Harvard would be so bad at math, but I just want to say sometimes it's not about being smart that gets you into Harvard. It's about money. So it doesn't surprise me that he's actually not good at math. That's embarrassing to not be good at math in that way. But to be fair, when I'm under pressure, I'm very bad at math, or like my brain like feels like, uh-oh, do I actually know what I'm doing? And then I totally overthink it and would also probably mess it up. So I can kind of relate, but it was a very easy math question. Like he should have been able to do that for sure.
With all the pressure in the world, he could have been able to do that with like a gun into his head. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like come on.
So I mean, defensive about it. Even okay, Brazil. How do you feel about him spelling limousine? Do you think he was doing it for screen time?
Huh?
Do you think he might have been doing it for screen time? Because even limousine, I don't know. I feel like you just know how to spell certain things. You know that the U is in there. It's kind of like, oh, I never thought the U would be in there. And like, you just remember that there's a U in limousine. You know what I mean?
I think the whole, like, everyone having an iPhone and it spelling everything for you also plays a role in that. Because I know once you started typing limo, it probably just, like, fills it in. I mean, it is a funny word to spell. Like, I think inherently know how to spell it. But, yeah, it was a pretty humbling moment for Bennett overall.
So just on the back topic, Cassandra says, and they say they met on Bachelor in Paradise, but he literally left Bachelor in Paradise to be with Kayla. True, to try to rewrite history. Well, they did meet there, but it was way later, and many times and tears of Ashley crying over him. Like, I don't know if I could be with somebody that cried over me like that beforehand.
But
like,
didn't he take her V card in the first time around on Bachelor in Paradise?
I don't know.
I thought they like slept over together in like the fantasy suite or something. Like, you know how they like give everyone the option at the end?
I forgot she was a historic Bachelor virgin. How could I forget? Oh my God.
I think that's why she was so stuck on him. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's why she was so like.
No, okay. I think that you might be incorrect with her V card loss. I think she lost it to Kevin. When games, and like they dated for a while, and like he like maybe tinfoil hat here. What if Jared didn't want to take her V card because he didn't want to have that pressure and stress and responsibility and like didn't want her to be like even more bunny boiler. And then Kevin did it. It's like, okay, good. Like at least now she's experienced. Like I don't have to like teach her everything or whatever, and she doesn't have to be hooked on me. And so maybe that's why she became more attractive, because he didn't want to take the virgin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she did settle down. I mean, seemingly settle down after that.
Right?
Not cry as much, but she got the guy. So.
This is a lot of shame. Pretty sure Bennett's mom pulled off and Felicity Huffman. I want to know what the jails that looked like that they had got to go to, because I know that Felicity has already served her time.
Of course she has.
Kevin, okay. See, Kevin took Ashley's V card. LOL. J. Jaws, Brazil is correct. They had a fantasy suite overnight, but they never admitted to intercourse.
Yeah, I think I just assumed that they did. I was like, oh, okay, they did. But maybe yeah, you're right. Jared saw like, oh my God, she's getting crazy after just like hand stuff. Maybe I shouldn't go all the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially if he wasn't planning on being with her, like to take someone's V card on Bachelor in Paradise when they're not, like he's not into her at all. Like that's like, it's something that you probably do not want to do.
Not on live TV anyway.
Ooh, no. Something else might have happened? What do you mean, J Jobs? Oh, like in the, like overnight? Yeah, probably everything but. So the next part of this date was kind of like a backwards tug of war where they had to like pull each other over the line. I don't really enjoy those types of dates. What do you guys feel about these? Like, we're going to talk more about it obviously later on, but like these male testosterone, like let's beat our chests and like be men kind of dates. Brazil, what do you think about these things?
I mean, well, okay, for this season specifically, they're kind of working with very little. So I think they're just trying to maximize their.
They have this rope. Okay. What can we use this rope for?
Yeah, like okay, we got a bouquet of flowers. Like, what do we do with this? Like, do we throw it? Do they catch it? There's not enough room. So yeah. But overall, I mean, it's just a trope. Like same thing with like what happens between like jumping a little bit ahead, but with Ed and Chasen, like that same situation happens every season. And I feel like until the Bachelorette no longer exists, they'll always have competitions like this.
Yes, they will. What do you think about them, Tanya? Do you care for them?
I just think the concept of grown man challenge is so stupid to begin with, because what does that even mean? But then like the interpretation most of these men seem to take is that it means like toxic masculinity, like who's the strongest, like who's like the most manly, who's gonna like kiss her the most, or blah blah blah. And it's just so unfortunate that that's happening. But I'm not surprised. It's classic Bachelor gender roles type of situation. I just think it's a really poor excuse for a challenge. Like a grown man wouldn't take that so seriously, I think.
I hope not. And like for me, like, okay, yes, you could show men being our men, but like what I like learning about them, if like I was going on all these dates, would be like their personality and how funny they are and how they act in certain situations, like that, and can they dance, and like, you know, do they, and I just would like to see who they are. And I guess that does show a side of them for sure.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, for Joe, to me, that would be kind of refreshing that he like makes light of the situation. He's like kind of making fun of it. So that in that sense, it would make me kind of get to know someone more, because you see how they respond to something like that. But
what do you think that Tayshia liked about it?
But Bennett didn't even contribute. And then
what was his injury?
His knee, knee injury.
She didn't even choose the winner, so it's like weird that
she did. I thought she did choose, or Ashley and
Ashley, and I think Ashley and Jared chose.
Bennett opted out of the tug of war due to his bad football knees. Well, I mean,
between his football knees and Ed's dislocating shoulders,
I mean, I get you, but it's just so. I don't like that being the excuse. You know what I mean? It was just kind of like, oh, it's so embarrassing. Like, just do it.
It's interesting that none of these injuries came up in the other two physical dates that already occurred. But I guess it was like a domino effect. I don't know if he was on the volleyball or the water basketball one, but I'm pretty sure that Ed was on one of those, because what else has he been on?
I don't know.
Like,
yes, are ridiculous. Like, I mean, obviously I'm enjoying the season a lot more than what was going on with Claire's season. Like, it just, I don't even know what that was in comparison. But I find that I'm seeing more of these guys now, and I'm like, oh, they're kind of losers. They kind of suck.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're one of the guys and this is the type of date that you get, the approach of like a normal human is like, I'm just going to be myself and try and use the moments that I have to connect with her in a way that's not ridiculous. Like, so many of them took it like Chasen taking off his shirt and be like, I'm served first thing in the morning for breakfast. I'm like, that's disgusting. Like, actually, ew. Like, ew. I physically recoiled. Like, no, just be yourself. Be like Dr. Joe. Like, just do your thing and understand where you fit into the bigger picture. And it's not about some grand gesture, because it's not Claire anymore, guys. It's not about some grand gesture.
I think that they're confused because Claire loves guys just like falling over her and complimenting her and climbing fences for, like, Claire just loves that kind of attention.
But
go ahead.
Can they stop saying show up? Like, I'm so done with it. I never want to hear that phrase again. Claire ruined it for me. Done. I don't want to hear it ever again.
Be late. Please be late. Okay, so out of all those breakfast in bed little mini dates, which one did you guys like the most? Like, for you, like what you would be like, oh, I like that. They had Ed doing some push-ups.
No.
We have Ivan giving her a little mimosa.
Ivan.
I don't know what DeMar did, but I just wrote he was adorable. What about Bennett getting in the bed with her and bringing her like 2 freshly squeezed juices and 2 beignets? Bennett.
I mean, I want to be fed, but Ivan, I agree, is the approach that what I think would have resonated most with me in that setting.
I mean, okay, you guys are going to be mad at me, but I may be choosing Bennett because I love a good pun. And she even said it herself. She's bougie and Bennett's bougie and she likes that. And so I think that she would like being over the top and super bougie with Bennett. And he's also a little bit goofy. And so I think that she actually likes him more than we're kind of seeing right now. Because like if she could be dating John Paul Jones, like she might as well be dating Bennett, which is like this John Paul Jones. He's not as goofy, obviously, but like with some money.
That's true. I didn't think about that connection, but I agree. I don't think his was the worst one. That's for sure.
Who else? Was there anybody else? Who else?
The push-ups were also like super embarrassing.
So embarrassing.
I was like, oh, you're clearly just trying to make up for the fact that you lost the tug of war, and then be like, oh, I'm super strong, Tayshia, just so you know, and do push-ups.
I can't throw a football, but I can do push-ups with you on my back.
That's what I'm wondering though. Like, what about his dislocating shoulder? I feel like that's a part of your body that would be, at least the muscle around it would be engaged if you were doing push-ups.
He's lying.
Is that possible?
He's lying.
Of course he's lying. Of course. Nick says it's obvious Ed didn't want to get hurt, didn't want to hurt his prize by losing to Chasen, so he opted out. Yeah, absolutely. You can't tell me he lifts but can't throw a football. Absolutely, Nick. Oh my God, we're going to get into him, but like, he really is going so downhill I never really liked him, but like now that he's showing up, I'm not into it.
Him and Chasen could go home and I'd be just fine.
Just fine. One thing though that I loved about the entire breakfast in bed scene was like the soft porn music. It was all like for the Bennett part, but it was like wow, 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 wow. You know, like the saxophone and like just this music that's very tacky, but I enjoyed it, to be fair. So the man-child award goes to Ed, and Ed gets a baby, which is actually, I don't even think they knew how suiting this was going to be, or fitting. And then the grown-ass man award goes to Bennett, and he kissed Tayshia in front of everybody. On scale of 1 to 10, Tanya, what level of cringe was this?
High cringe. High cringe. 10.
10.
11.
I was like, so
just so
Gary
bleh.
even like, ugh, and like moved away.
like he could have definitely done it in a way that wasn't like as cringy, but like it just I don't think she was ready for it or into it. And it was in front of the other guy. It was just not good. It was not good. I was like, bad move, Bennett. I did like that he was posing for photos with the certificate, and Tayshia calls him out. I was like, okay, Tayshia, at least like you're like who are you posing for? I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
So silly.
Then I wrote down at the bottom of this page, I'm like, what is happening with Chasen? Because this is the beginning of the evolution of like this strange human being that who is he? We had such high hopes for him.
What is happening with Chasen? Like, really, what's wrong with him?
Is it because like maybe it was that he was picked on when he was younger, and because he did say that with Claire that he used to be bullied and he was short, and so maybe he still has that kind of mentality, like the bully becomes the the bullied becomes the bully, and maybe in group situations he kind of reverts back to like, I need to be Wolverine so people don't bully me, and maybe he's taking it too far.
Well, I think also Ed took it too far. Like, it usually happens where the guys don't say anything about it to each other. They'll just go say it to the person, and then they're like blindsided by it. You know what I mean? But then they had that conversation in front of everyone, and like I guess supposedly had like cleared it up. Then he says something to Tayshia, like not once but twice again, Ed. So I think it was just like a combination of both of them that made them so annoying to me. And obviously Chasen got like too aggressive about it, but Ed was being equally as annoying.
Chasen says that he was the lunch. Would you like to be the lunch, J Jobs? Is that the one that you'd have chosen because you gravitated toward that sense of romance that Chasen has? I mean, he used to be so good looking, and every single week now, or like this episode, anyways, his like good lookingness is just going down, and now I'm kind of starting to get repulsed a little. I'm getting the ick.
I think he, like I said, he's used to like get his hotness, like getting him a certain degree of things. So he's like fritzing out now, and like he's not able to comprehend how that's not landing with people, and that he doesn't seem authentic when all he says are just super contrived sayings and lacks personality entirely. Like, I don't understand anything about this guy. Even when he was talking to her about his life, I was like, oh, who cares? Like, what? He's so strange.
All seems to be fake, and I think that Ed is right, but he's not really going about it in a way that I think he's going in a way that's television friendly, I guess, and act differently in real life. But Chasen, so they think after this, the grown man challenge, whatever, they have a little after party with Tayshia, or before Tayshia joins them, and Chasen's already pissed with Bennett, because Bennett shows up in his robe still and like has his like certificate. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit obnoxious, but like, wouldn't you do that too? Like, I probably would, to remind them that like, hey, I won the award. I don't know, and that you're kind of.
I would put on clothes at least.
I don't know if I would.
Really?
I might not. I don't know. Would you?
Well, Chasen said, oh, you are so cringy. You don't wear a robe to a cocktail party. But my guy was wearing a t-shirt to the cocktail party. So I don't know who he's roasting with that comment, but he also was not properly dressed for the party. Other guys are wearing blazers or button-up shirts. He was wearing a t-shirt. The audacity.
Absolutely, to be calling someone out. It's definitely pot calling the kettle black here. Well, me personally, though, I like dressing up. And so, I might have changed up, make it like a toga. Like, I don't know, but like, I don't mind the fact that he wasn't wearing traditional cocktail attire. Like, they're at La Quinta. He doesn't need to wear a tuxedo necessarily. It could be really hot out too. So, I don't know. I don't mind him wearing the robe. I'm okay with it. J. John says, no, I thought Chasen was stupid. I guess he is. Maybe he is stupid. Did he say that? I thought he was bullied because he was short.
Yeah. Because he was short. No, J. Jobs saying he thought Chasen was stupid because you asked J. Jobs if.
Oh, right. Oh, got it. Thank you, Brazil. Thank you for keeping me on track. Right, about the lunch. Yes, Chase's little date was stupid. Nick says, yeah, do you think the producers made Bennett wear the robe for the drama, or was it his idea?
Probably his idea.
Pardon?
He's probably the producer's favorite person on the show because he'll do whatever, or he'll come up with the idea himself.
Yeah. I think he decided to wear it, and then they encouraged him to keep wearing it, would be my guess.
Well, he probably was like, I'm not keep taking this off. And they're probably like, well, you don't have to. And he's like, all right, I won't then. And then he probably just came like that.
I just think it's funny that Ed and Bennett are like bros, apparently. And they both won like the polar opposites of the award.
But I did like Ed carrying around this baby. I thought it was kind of funny.
Oh my God. When he named the baby Carlos, and obviously from The Hangover, and he was like looking at all the guys like cracking up, and like Tayshia did it right over her head. Like,
Thank you, Brazil. Did you catch that, Tanya?
What?
No, I didn't catch that either. I was just like, that's nice. He's taking it like a champ, I guess.
No, that's so good. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, he was cracking up as soon as he said it, and I'm like, okay, she doesn't get it, but like you could tell. I think the other guys got it because they were cracking up. But yeah,
this Brazil that when I was living in Vancouver, I was working on these luxury boats, and I was bartending, and we had to like confiscate our phones, and we had to sign all these NDAs because we were going to be having a celebrity that was doing their wedding reception on the boat at like 2:00 in the morning. And so it actually was Zach Galifianakis, and like he had like John Hamm was there. He was still dating, what's her name?
John Hamm was there.
Yes, I served him many glasses of wine. When I see you in person, I'll show you how he was dancing on the dance floor on a wine drunk. Pretty good.
John Hamm is hot.
Yeah, he looks exactly the same in real life. Ted Danson was there. Mary Steenburgen, is that her name? Was there. Anyway, so it was a lot of people from The Hangover was at the wedding reception. And yeah, I got to serve them and meet them and got them really wasted for his after party. Just thought I'd throw that
Wow.
in.
Lucky.
Sam says, hi, Sam. Nice to see you again or read you again. Sam says, I personally thought Ed was in the wrong more. For me, I wouldn't have cared if Jason was being dumb or fake. Well, yeah, that was what a grown man would probably take that position. But
well, they just kept pushing him. Like everyone has a breaking point, and that was his. And if whether or not it's true, if it's actually not true, and he's just like, we don't like this panicky, weird Chasen, maybe, but like he still might actually be attracted to Tayshia. You know, like she is a smoke show. I don't know why people took that as a bad thing. Like she's fucking hot. So I don't know. I think the guys are a little bit too hard. Not the guys. Ed was too hard on Chasen, but the way Chasen reacted made it look bad. So,
Tanya, how would you feel if someone called you a smoke show?
I feel it's an old term. I didn't know people were still using smoke show. That was like a high school vibe.
Yeah, I haven't heard it in a while.
I mean, I don't think it's like it's a compliment, but I also think he probably thought that Claire was a smoke show too, and
I think
that's just what it is.
Yeah.
I think Ed, okay, here's the thing. Ed's not wrong about his observations about Chasen. Like, I think that Chasen does seem fake. Like, he's just trying to be on the show to, like, be popular. And I do think he's saying the same things to Tayshia that he said to Claire from what we've seen, which hasn't been that much. But what Ed's flaw was continuing to keep bringing it up and going back there on and on and on, including bringing it up to Tayshia. It's not a good look to be that guy. No. You never want to be that guy or that contestant that tells the lead that somebody else is bad, because it never plays out. Like, they're just setting the stage for a 2-on-1 with these two guys.
I was going to say, they always end up on a 2-on-1.
Yeah. And then, like, that's the formula.
Unless, okay, this is a little bit more tinfoil hat going down your rabbit hole, Tanya, that maybe Ed knows that he's not going to end up with Tayshia. Like, he knows that there's no vibe there or whatnot. And so maybe he's just trying to create as much drama as he can, get as much social media followers as possible, stay on the show for as long as possible. Because like they usually do the 2-on-1 dates, maybe a little bit down the road a little bit. So maybe he's going to make it through 1 or 2 more rose ceremonies. And then he would be out of the show. Because I think that the only way that he could be doing this is if he didn't think he had a chance with Tayshia.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
You can tell that he doesn't. I don't think there's not like even close to a spark between them. Sam says, but these guys are probably just want to get some screen time. Exactly. It's also annoying when these guys say, I'm looking out for, like, no, you're looking for cameras and screen time. And I agree with you, Sam. I think that it's cameras and screen time. And I think that he doesn't even care about Tayshia, really. Like, he doesn't have feelings for her at all.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, exactly. You're not looking out for Tayshia. Come on.
Both of these guys are insecure, and they're acting this way because they're insecure themselves in their own position on the show. By this point, you kind of know where you stand in the big picture of the guys that are there. Like, you kind of understand like who seem to be a bit more of the front runners, middle of the pack guys, people who she's obviously not going to choose, but we like a Dr. Joe, once again, where it's like, he's a great guy, but we can like figure that he's not really going to be her choice. Like, you kind of know where you are, and neither of them, in my opinion, maybe Chasen more based on Tayshia's actions, are in like a category where she's really going to pick them. So I think they are aware of that and like playing things up for screen time. Absolutely.
And I think Sandman said that, Sandhurst, he said, like, there's only two outcomes of you going on a show. You're either liked or you're not. So once you kind of fall into, you know, one of those two, it's kind of how, I mean, they could easily have, changed the way people saw them after that whole fiasco. But now I don't think anyone's ever going to like Ched. That's their name, Ched.
So yeah, I said that Chasen is actually starting to make me feel uncomfortable with how he keeps on addressing the guys and like, and then to the camera being like, Wolverine's about to come out. It's like, that's not, in my opinion, a good sign that like you have an unhinged version of yourself that's nobody's seen. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, so you don't have your emotions under control, and then you might pop off and do something that Wolverine might do that's like out of character for Chasen. So that's problematic to me. That says that like maybe you need some counseling and learning how to manage your emotions a little bit better, because nobody wants to see Wolverine, like, get out of here. He's an actor, you know, and then he can be Wolverine on the TV show, on the movie. So Ben, though, you guys Brazil will definitely like this, is looking, in my opinion, more and more handsome the more that he gets to know Tayshia. I'm liking his personalities kind of emerging, and Ben was good looking at all, and now I'm feeling that he's starting to become more attractive.
Ben? Yeah, Ben's hot.
I don't know if we're going to go there with hot, but he's getting more attractive. Tanya, are you into Ben?
Personally, I'm not into him. He's fitting in the something's off category for me, where I'm like, okay, on paper, like, I get it. He's like a big guy. He's muscly. He's like not unattractive, obviously, but something's off for me. And I don't know what that is.
I have my theory about Tayshia and Ben.
You have your theory what?
About Tayshia and Ben.
You think that they're going to be the people?
No, I think she's scared that he's like a fuckboy, because that's kind of my gut instinct about him too. And so I think she was trying, after she kissed him, I think she got super like, oh shit, I like kissing him, but I don't want to like look dumb in the end kind of thing. So she just like walked away from him. And then she like didn't give him the group date rose. And then she didn't give him like the first rose, even though it was very visible that she's like into this guy. So I think she was trying to like play it off, that she's not as into him, as she doesn't want to like let on how into him she actually is.
Playing it cool for sure, because like he just goes in and is like, oh, I really want to kiss you, and then they kiss, and he's like, you're trouble, and like, you know, like, stop kissing me. And she's like, there's something about that man. So I agree with you there, Brazil, that she like is more smitten than she wants to let on, because she needs to have control in this situation. She doesn't want to pull a Claire.
I don't want to talk about her ever again.
Are we getting at Noah yet? Okay, we'll talk about Noah. Nick is asking our opinions about Noah. We're going to get to him for sure. Sam says, I low-key like Brendan, guy with green eyes and black hair. Don't remember his name. So much more now after seeing him with Tayshia. I like her shyness, his shyness towards her. It's cute. I actually agree. I don't really like shy. That's not really my thing. But there's a cuteness with how he he expresses himself. Like it's kind of like he still allows him to be shy. He doesn't cover it or mask it or put on some false bravado to make him seem something else. Like he kind of is vulnerable, and I think that that's what we're liking about him, showing his shyness. See, I'm into him. I like him now.
Scorpio.
I thought Ben looked derpy at first. He does. I don't know. And he looks better with his glasses on, in my opinion.
He has glasses? I didn't even know that.
Glasses. I'm just obsessed with Brendan.
Ed. Sorry, I'm thinking Ed. Ed looks derpy.
Oh. Ed looks super derpy.
Ben, do you think Ben is derpy? Maybe.
I thought that. I don't know what it is. Like, I don't want to, insult somebody's features. But yes, I did also feel a derpy vibe when I first saw him. That was kind of my, like, is he hot? ? Like, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I think, well, he's a veteran, so that already made me be like, okay, hot. And then, Chris Harrison said he was a gentle giant, like, of the group. And so that made me be like, okay, even hotter. Like,
the derpy part, I think he was in the first words of the affirmation love language group date, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where he was kind of derpiest, because like he just kind of looked like, I don't know. I understand what you guys are saying. The derpy part. I didn't find him attractive, but he's growing on me now that he's a front runner.
Yeah.
So Brazil thinks Ben is to Tayshia as Tyler was to Hannah.
Yeah, exactly, pretty much.
That's a good comparison.
Hannah was like too scared of Tyler, even though everyone was screaming, "But go for Tyler!"
That, like, I think that's a pretty good comparison. Like the type of like, ooh, I'm into that guy. I really wish she just had chosen Tyler.
I don't know why she picked Jed.
She's 25. Like, oh, yeah, that's why. Nick says, I think Ed looks like you're from Winnie the Pooh. Actually, I can see that.
Throw some respect on Eeyore's name. How dare you? How dare you?
I can see though the comparison. Like, people like sometimes you look like cartoons or animals. Like, I can see that as Ed. That's very funny. Sam says, honestly, feel like Riley is drifting away. I don't think Tayshia is feeling him, but maybe. I'm not like, I know there's like kind of two bands of people that like some really, really like Riley. Me, I've never really gravitated towards him. It could be from the preseason where, Chris was saying that he has a front and he's ready to take down anybody that talks to him. I just haven't found that I liked his style of addressing the group, like in that situation with Yosef. I don't know. I just don't like how he handles certain situations. Talking about his bologna sandwiches, and he's gonna. Who was he talking about for that?
He was talking about
Noah.
Spencer.
Oh no,
Spencer.
Spencer, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't really vibe with that.
What was he on, by the way, this episode?
Was he
Spencer?
No, Riley.
He was, I feel like, one of the guys on the side for the wrestling. One of the side guys, like, that weren't on the date.
It was either, like, the group dates were the
oh yeah.
I don't think he was in either group date. Or if he was, they're just really not showing him, because
that's probably why he's drifting away, because he's not actually on the show from what we can remember.
I know.
Josh, I had to look up derpy, LOL.
I want to look up derpy now. Just find derpy.
People's faces like,
yeah. Something's off.
Is this like you're stupid on Harry.com?
I want to know what you found though. Like, can you put the quote that you're like the Urban Dictionary definition of derpy, please, J-Job, if that's where you found the definition. Nick says, does Ben kind of Dan Giesling from Big Brother? Somebody else pointed that out. I saw that split stream. I don't see that.
You guys are insane.
That one.
I see it.
What are you talking about?
He's like the Captain America version of Dan, like the more jacked version.
No.
Yeah, totally.
What are you talking about? No.
I see the similarities.
I need to find this for you, Dan. There's a split screen going around.
My brain hurts right now.
Pardon?
My brain hurts thinking about that.
Wait, where is
Because
it?
I would never say Dan Giesling's hot.
I mean, maybe you don't know what you really want, you know?
No, I know.
Maybe if he was built. then
No, ew.
you just get Ben.
Derpy.
Oh man, I can't find it. Okay, maybe one of you guys. Can you one of you guys post
I don't want to
somewhere
see it.
this picture? Because there's like a split picture, and I'm like, oh, okay, kind of, but I definitely don't see it when they're looking at it.
I don't want to see it.
Sam says he took it way too seriously with the Yosef thing. Exactly. Like I don't like that kind of energy. No other guy said anything about it besides him. He blew that out of proportion. 100% agree, Sam. So like I just haven't been really vibing with Riley. I didn't think that him and Claire was going to be a good match, and maybe better with Tayshia, but like she doesn't seem to be caring for him at all. Other than the fact that like a medical malpractice lawyer. I mean, I like. That's a nice ring to it. Derpy. Oh my God, I love you. Derpy. Adjective. Foolish or stupid. Example. They say some pretty derpy things. Yeah. I think it's also like the face that goes along with it. Derpy face, like.
I don't think he's foolish or stupid seeming, but he still looks derpy to me.
So funny. We're all learning something new today. I love that. Okay. What about, this was pretty, okay, I need to know what your thoughts about this, Brazil, because you are the biggest Ivan stan here. Yeah. And so when he has a one-on-one conversation with Tayshia and he blindfolds her and then feeds her a strawberry, you know, we're big on eye rolls about strawberry feeding.
Moira's forever ruined eating strawberries on national TV for me.
Exactly. And then after he goes in for the kiss, would this have sold you? Did you like this moment? What do you think, Brazil?
I think Tayshia is pleasantly surprised at like how he carries himself for being his age, and I think that's, I mean, to be a aerospace engineer, like a rocket scientist essentially, I'm sure like you're probably more mature than the average person your age. And I kind of always, that's why I picked him on my team and everything too. So I was kind of expecting him to kind of be a dark horse and play that role. But I'm happy. Okay. Remember when we drafted 2 teams for 2 different people on accident? My team's doing really well with Tayshia, I just have to say.
If we should have done a redraft when we got the 4 new guys, but yeah. Like whatever, like I don't know what's happening here.
Yeah, but I don't know. I like Ivan.
I like him too. I think he's really cute. I like smart people.
Yeah,
I think that it was nice to be using, the things that he can get from La Quinta to a little bit of a special moment. And I thought it was pretty bold that he went in for that kiss. They haven't really had that much time for him to feel comfortable maybe to be doing that. So I thought it was a big leap of faith. He definitely showed up, in that moment. Chasen's Wolverine now with the other guys, and he can't take Ed seriously because he's holding a baby and has chicken legs. Could you take someone seriously that was holding a baby that had chicken legs, Tanya?
I mean, what does that statement even mean? That was his rebuttal to like everything Ed said about his personality being bad. He's like, yeah, well, you've got chicken legs. I'm like, oh my God. How embarrassing. Like, how truly embarrassing.
So embarrassing. And we were you were too, Brazil, because he was from, I don't know if it was from the Bay, but he's from California. Chasen.
Oh, he's from San Diego, yeah.
He's from San Diego, yeah.
Another town
from San Diego
that you liked? Like a smaller town that you actually really liked that he was actually from? It was like a small town.
Walnut Creek?
Say it again?
I think it was Walnut Creek.
Yeah, I think that sounds right.
Yeah, no, that's like a super bougie. Well, yeah, he's definitely from both San Diego and Walnut Creek. Born and half raised in Walnut Creek and then living out being a fuckboy in San Diego.
Chasen, man, what they stock just
a waste of good lips.
I know. I would want to kiss Chasen. Ugh, so annoying. Chasen doesn't want to give a cheers to Ed. Like, come on. Like, who cares, man? He has chicken legs. It's okay. You can talk to him still. It's not that big of a deal. So Nick is just just helping us know the terminology for derpy. So it doesn't always mean stupid, just like wide-eyed face and smile. Like, yeah, exactly. Like kind of clueless.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Being caught between thoughts and like looking just kind of empty, I think. Sam says, if I was Tayshia, I would have preferred if he'd done without the blindfold since I want the connection. I would want to feel all the emotion, but I was like, but I liked it since it was spontaneous. What I liked about the blindfold part is that he made it more memorable. And so she'll remember that as a whole moment. Because if he just was like, sit down, like, open your mouth, let me shove a strawberry in your mouth. Like, okay, fine, he could do that. But there's a little bit more of like the 9.5 weeks of it all. Have you seen that movie, either of you?
No.
It was like a Mickey Rourke. He was in like the 90s. He was always doing these kind of softcore porn type movies. So 9.5 weeks was facing her. And like, this is before he started looking like he does right now. Like he was actually a cute man back in the day. And so he did 9.5 weeks where he was feeding this girl all the fruit, which is Kim Basinger, who's like was super hot back then as well. And that was the whole thing, was 9.5 weeks. And so I'm sure that, well, maybe I don't even know if he's playing on that because he's so young, but it's kind of like a social trope now to like the seduction of like rubbing it against their lips and allowing them to have a taste of the juice of the fruit. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think that he wanted to create more of a moment.
I think he did it intentionally to show like a different side of himself, because he's obviously really articulate and sweet seeming and like not aggressive and a nice guy. Yeah. So I think he kind of wanted to show that he can be like, a little bit more sexy, like, quote unquote, with her, and like be a little bit more of an initiator and like have that side of him. I think that was why he did the blindfold thing, because it's a little bit unexpected for his personality.
Yeah, expected. This is a good question. We don't maybe put them on a ranking, but who for yourselves do you ladies like the most? Maybe your top 3 guys that you actually would maybe consider dating.
Brendan.
Mm-hmm.
Top 3.
Brendan. Brendan's my only for sure.
I do think Spencer is hot, like objectively. I think he's a yes. Brendan,
not really my style.
On a scale of 1 to 10, like 6 or 7. Like I don't know.
That
who was 6 or 7?
I mean, overall average for this group.
Yeah. I think I like Jordan M. I think he's kind of a cute, like a undercover cutie. He seems to have a little bit of like, I don't know, he's kind of manly, but it's like subtle. So I think he's kind of cute. I think Chasen's actually really good looking, but like his personality is terrible. Terrible.
I'm hardcore obsessed with Brendan. So
I think he's cute, but he also could be a little bit like funny looking at the same time too.
Like, did you at the end of the episode when they're on they redo their horse date? I was dying.
I mean, I thought it was cute, but
it was hilarious.
Also, Dale was definitely hot. Dale was hot. Yeah,
Jordan M was hot. But
he's cute. Dale, I think, is very attractive, absolutely, but I don't really think his voice, in my opinion, matches his look.
Yeah.
That's so true.
It's kind of like Clay. Remember Clay from
yes, Clay Harbor. Oh my god, his voice killed it.
So it's like, Dale's kind of like that for me. And I've also been watching some of his like Instagram reels, and I can't take them as a couple anymore. Already, I'm completely done with them because like, she's like visiting him wherever he's from, and it's
South Dakota, aka nowhere.
He's doing an Instagram reel shirtless, looking outside the window, and like he's calling her Crawls. Hey, Crawls.
Oh, God.
Maybe he's trying to remind her that she still has that last name.
Probably, or like not even doing a term of endearment because he doesn't want to like connect with her anymore. So Brazil, number 1, Brendan, number 2, number 3, Brendan, oh my ass off. That I think that maybe you'll put 3 and you'd put Ivan.
Yeah, or it's AJ's personality, not his looks. Okay. The addiction spec. Oh, is that AJ? Yeah.
Zach?
Oh, yep. I don't know why I thought his name was AJ.
Wait, you're AJ? I mean, AJ, you're into Zach?
No, personality-wise, I think you can tell like the way he carries himself. And he went up to Ed and Chasen and was like, I don't care. Just bury it. Like, just shut the fuck up. And then when, and like he was able to bring Tayshia back to reality, and make her feel better about the whole situation, which there's always one guy that does that, but you can tell that it's just so easy for Zach to do that. So I think he'll go far. I think he'll definitely be in the top 4.
I liked how he was like, when she was talking to him, she was like, there's just like this about you. And he's like, I'm old. You can say that I'm old. And just like kind of went with that.
She did start saying, what was it that they were talking about? She said whatever word that he's like, oh, you're old or mature. And then she's like, oh yeah, I'm mature. But she was going to say, you're just so more mature. I could hear like a little bit of
But I think he was probably so relieved to hear that, because I want that like persona out of all the other kind of goofballs that like you can tell that some of these guys were definitely cast for Claire, because they just seem goofy around Tayshia, but around Claire it was kind of like, oh, Claire would like that. Like you don't really think that they're goofy in that sense because Claire's so freaking weird. So Tayshia is a little bit more grounded, and so some of these guys are just out of their element, I think. But
so more Ed and Chasen drama. Ed tells Tayshia about whatever was going on.
Again,
it was just like again, why are we doing this? Like, it's a big who cares? Like, you're not in a relationship with her. Like, he's not in a relationship. Like, it doesn't matter. His relationship doesn't matter to her.
If I had been crowned man-child for the date and carrying around a tiny fake infant, the last thing I would be doing is giving her more reason to think that I'm a man-child.
Oh my God, Jay Jobs is killing me today. Jay Jobs says, is Chris Harrison the only guy Tayshia has not kissed? LOL. I think she's kissed every guy actually at this point.
I mean, that's what a bachelorette's supposed to do, Claire.
Herpes. It's supposed to get herpes.
Whatever, 90%.
They're being tested. It's okay. They're being tested.
Right? So then Chasen comes back and Ed talks to Tayshia. Tayshia's like, oh my God, I can't believe that. Tayshia goes and calls Chasen over. They talk for a bit, and then Chasen leaves, whatever, and comes back. And Ed says to Chasen, who's like standing over him, is like, take your medium shirt out of here.
This is actually large.
You have a moment of silence for the ridiculousness of like, who the fuck cares? As a grown-ass man, he said it like so many times, as a grown-ass man, like you should like grown-ass man. And I'm like, what is happening here? Is this a new thing? Is this like for the right reasons? Gotta show up, be a grown-ass man. Like, is this like a new Bachelor Nation terminology?
I don't want it to be.
No.
Exactly, Jake Jobs. Ed was definitely a tattletale as a kid. Well, yeah, and he's 36.
He was like, Chasen stood above me and yelled at me, Tayshia. He stood and yelled at me. I was like, what? What a baby. It wasn't that like aggressive of an interaction.
Did he say medium?
Yeah. Medium.
Is that a joke from something that I don't know?
It's a small and a medium, like you'd be like, oh, it's just medium, like like on the small side, but
American talk.
Apparently, I thought it was a well-known thing.
Well,
I cracked up when you said medium.
Definitely have never heard of medium. Have you, Tanya?
No, never. But I'm for it. I love a portmanteau.
Brazil is, what is it, the slaps?
What did you just say?
The slaps? Is that the other one? Like, it's the slaps for me? Or I don't know how to use it.
Oh, it's like that song slaps. Like
that's
like that's a good thing.
slaps. What does that mean?
It's a good thing. It means like that song slaps.
Yeah.
Like that song hits. Like
It's really good. Yes.
slapper.
I mean, I've heard it since Brazil introduced me to it a couple of months ago.
It's
but
a big thing.
Still, I don't think it's a Canadian term.
No. It's like Bay Area, like Mac Dre, like hyphy movement, like slang.
Learned so much stuff. It's so amazing. Evan gets the group taste rose. I was happy that he got it. He was really cute. I think he's also somebody that's getting cuter and cuter now that we're seeing more of him.
Ivan?
Yeah, Ivan. He's completely invisible before. So it's a cocktail party. And why did I say? Oh, and they're fighting, obviously, about the fact that Chasen called both Claire and Tayshia smoke shows. Like,
no, he didn't call Claire a smoke show. That's Tayshia's new coined term to separate the two.
Mm-hmm.
Smoke show. Smoke show. That's what I noticed.
When Ed said that's like sounds like a Zac Efron movie or whatever. That quote was.
Ed's kind of funny. He's kind of funny.
That was funny. That was funny.
So Ben talks to Tayshia again on this the cocktail party, and he's talking about this animal magnetism and he's just like, oh, I didn't get to do this. How are you guys feeling about this? I was a little.
I didn't believe him.
You did or you didn't?
Mm-mm.
You didn't? I thought you were.
I am for myself, but it just I don't think. I feel like I can see it in other guys more than I can see it in him, that there's a magnetism towards each other. It's not Claire. It's either not coming from Tayshia or Tayshia's holding back, or Ben's a fuckboy. One of the two.
Mm-hmm.
He's a fuckboy, huh? J Jobs, first time you heard that term. Are you talking about slaps or schmedium?
Nicole's gonna die when she watches this.
I think Ben, there is that comparison made earlier that Ben is to Tayshia as Tyler was to Hannah, but I think Ben is to Tayshia as Peter was to Hannah, more so, like Pilot Pete, which is like there's a connection and an energy, but it's not like it's chemistry and physical chemistry, but that's kind of where it lives for me, where she's intrigued and like maybe might, continue to pursue a more physical relationship with him, but ultimately it's not really beyond that. Whereas like Dale is to Claire what would have happened if Hannah chose Tyler. That's how I think it is, personally.
You think that with Ben and Tayshia, there's going to be 4 times in the windmill type moment?
Not 4 times in the windmill, but that type of motivating energy, I think.
Okay. You're calling your shot. Okay. I mean, I'm here to see that get maybe a little bit messy. I'm here for that. What else happened on this episode? Joe has a little mini date. What are they eating there? Bimini Bob?
I don't know. That was a cute idea, though.
Yeah.
Who knew? La Quinta does world cuisine. We weren't aware, but now we know.
Well, Joe, though, he shows his family and stuff like that, and like he's also getting better. Maybe it's just because like before they're just like 2-dimensional faces that I'm like,
well, because you would see a clip of them and then it would be Dale, clip Dale. Like now we're finally getting to know these guys.
And that's like a thing, even with like Tinder or Bumble. It's like some guys I'm like, oh, I don't really think that they're that cute, but like personalities coming through and like how people really act really does sell them on like their looks get so much better. And so these guys are starting to look, well, some of them look better, which even includes the Dr. Jokes. I was like, why is he still here? Like he just hasn't said many words this entire 2 seasons. You know?
Brendan's hot?
Do I? He's okay. He's just a little bit geeky for me. It's kind of like my friend Karen always mentions that. What's his name? What's the swimmer? Michael Phelps. Like he has like such a hot body that his face is just a little bit not that hot, so that like his body could be hot, you know? So like I feel like he's just like a little like something's just a little bit off that he's not that hot to me.
Have you seen his modeling photos?
I don't know. Maybe I'm not sure what it is. I just am not I'm not into that look really.
I don't know, man. He's fine.
He has nice eyes. And he looks cute. I don't know what it is. Are you into him, Tanya?
Do you see the chemistry? Tell me you see the chemistry.
I like that. I think that there's something between them for sure. And like, I think that they like staring at each other and like kissing and stuff. So I'm into watching their relationship grow.
You see a spark? You see
Brendan?
the spark? I'm asking you,
I
Chantele.
think that
What?
Do you see a spark between?
I'd say I'd see a spark between them. Yeah. I see a spark more between them, like with Brendan and Tayshia, that I see with Ben and Tayshia. I agree with that.
Yeah.
For sure. There's popsicles with Spencer. Cute. Who's the mini European vacation? What did I write that down for?
Bennett, he took her to Paris.
Cute. I'd like that. Damar writes her a poem, and she just grabs him for a smooch. I was like, okay, just going in for the kiss with Damar.
Damar's getting like so like stuck in his role. Like he never even got to know Claire at all, and I feel like he's not really getting to know Tayshia either.
But he seems really happy. I have to say, like, he seems like a good mood, good vibes. Like, he comes like full smiles, positive energy whenever he sees her. So I think he's just being genuine in just getting to know her on a very normal life pace. It's kind of what it seems like. I don't think it's in his vibe to like go and like snipe in dates and like go and try to like. I don't think this is his style at all. What's this? Do you think anyone's getting a future Bachelor edit? I have one pick of that. What do you guys think?
I really don't think so. I can't see any of these guys as the Bachelor, to be honest with you. Do you feel that vibe from any of them? Yeah. I mean, they also don't have to choose one of these guys because they already have Matt James, but still.
I think Ben would definitely get like.
I mean, he would be an American pick for them being like a veteran and all that stuff. I could see them doing that way. I was going to say he was a little bit cringe this episode, but I still think that he has the support of productions and the support of the fans. I would watch the oldest Bachelor, Bennett, coming in and be in the gap.
Yeah, maybe if they want to go like in a different direction for sure, but I don't know.
I think that
he's popular. People like him. Like online, people are like really into Bennett on the show in terms of like just him as a character. So maybe.
Exactly. I mean, that's what I think. Dude, any other thoughts? I think those are the only two. I can maybe see Ben and I can maybe see Bennett. Everybody else, not so much.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Me neither. Rose ceremony.
The Tyler C. Bachelor.
I don't think he's going to do it.
I wouldn't mind though.
I think that he's not ready to get married. I don't think he wants that right now. Doesn't seem like it at all. We talked about it a little bit, but there was the older moment with Zach. I'm not really feeling Zach, but he is exuding like older, mature. Like I would want to hang out with him more than most of the people that were there, just because he does have a different air about him that like it's just not so childish and stupid. So I get that why she might be attracted to him, but like I'm not interested in him at all. Says this, do you guys like Matt as the Bachelor this year? Tanya.
Yeah. I don't really know much about Matt James other than he's Tyler's friend. I'm not opposed to it or anything like that, but I don't know. I'm like 50-50 on when they choose somebody totally outside of the choices that they had from previous seasons, because I think sometimes it's actually a good thing and sometimes I actually wish that they didn't do that. So we shall see.
Kyle?
Yes, exactly.
What
like an Ari situation where I'm like, oh no, this is like 10 years too late to be doing this. Like, I don't understand. So I'm intrigued. I think he'll be fun. He seems fun.
What do you think would have happened if he actually ended up on Claire's season
Oh yeah, because that's what was supposed to happen, right?
He was supposed to be
Matt
on the first season of The Bachelor.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was announced as The Bachelor, and so he was basically taken off of Claire's season. And then also Claire, with her social media stalking, got really upset with Matt James and called him out on the fact that he was doing, I don't know if he was only for OnlyFans or sort of like, or cameos or whatever for charity, but like he was always doing charity stuff. But he basically was like, you shouldn't be using the fact that you're a bachelor on like my season to like for clout, for like popularity. And so she kind of called him out, and he was like, oh well, I've had this charity before I decided to come on The Bachelorette, and we're not on the show yet, and we don't even happen. So she called him out, and I was going to be wondering, like, ooh, is he going to be gone first week? This is when we still thought that it was going to be a normal season of The Bachelorette.
Yeah.
What if she got her little hooks in him? Like, do you think that he could have been whipped like Dale?
Oh man, I don't even know. I can't even, like, it really worked out for him that didn't happen, because then he gets to be the lead, when the last thing was the drama of her posting that about him. I don't know. He could have been her type too. She seems to like athletic, tall guys, like fun guys, like people who have bigger personalities. So I think she would have been into it probably, but also that implication of that social drama probably would have also played out in a stupid storyline that we didn't need to see. So he lucked out. He's
definitely lucked
much
out.
better off being the Bachelor, I think.
Tyler said in an interview that he was like, he thinks that Matt James, like, it was a lucky break that he didn't have to be on Claire's season. And then he kind of like backpedaled, like, oh, I didn't mean anything by it, but like, you know, it's better that he gets to be the Bachelor. But it kind of, he insinuated that like he would have felt bad for his friend being on the season with her because she didn't treat the guys very well, which is true. Or he would have been the Dale of the season. You know what I mean? It would be like one of those two situations. Either both of them suck. So they do the rose ceremony. She chooses Zach first. So the order is Zach, Riley, Kenny, Ben, Damar, Bennett, Spencer, Jordan, Noah, Joe, Blake, Ed, Chasen. Did either of you think that it was going to be possible that either one of them were going to go home?
No. Yeah, they need a 2-on-1 soon, so
they're
going to be on it.
For sure.
I thought she would either send them both or keep them both.
Yeah.
Because
so the people that didn't get roses was Jay. I was like, who? When I saw him in the episode, I'm like, oh, he's still on the show. I forgot about him. The new guy that he tested positive for COVID, and then when he got the results, he got in a car accident. He's fine. But like that was just like a news story about him.
Oh my God, poor guy.
He's apparently he's fine though. But just
like some Brazil look right there.
True. And then Montel, who, like, I don't know why.
I did see Montel more than I saw Riley in this episode, though. I know what date Montel was on. I still don't know what date Riley went on.
Maybe
Montel went on the first one in the conference room.
Yes, I do. Oh, conference room? I remember just seeing him standing up at some point. I was like, oh, Montel's on this date. But I didn't see
Yeah, he was standing like behind Bennett during his Harvard moment.
So after the rose ceremony, the guys go home. Obviously, they didn't have a connection with Claire or the audience. Chasen makes a toast. And I'm like, man, the producers are such dicks. Like, they know that everybody hates Chasen. Like, let's make him make the toast. Like,
always.
We start hearing about Noah. So, you know, we were kind of debating, like, who's the villain of the season? Is it Noah or Chasen? Noah or Chasen? So this is Noah's portion of villain edit. Starting up. And so Noah really wants to get more time with Tayshia, of course. And so there's a new date. So it's going to be Easy, Brendan, Joe again. Oh, I guess it's a new cycle.
Good date, yeah.
Jordan, Spencer, Ben, Ed, and Chasen. I'm looking for my perfect match. I mean, the guys all pieced it together that it was going to be some sort of fight type thing that was happening, especially with Chasen and Ed being on the same date. So we show up to, what room is this, would you say, Tanya?
It's another room, conference room. I don't know what kind of set that was, but
the same room with curtains.
Room on the second floor next to the pool.
The other room at La Quinta.
Exactly. The other room. So Tayshia's doing some, choreographed stunt choreography, flips and throws with some 2 other women. The men walk in and she's like, well, there was a lot of tension that was going on yesterday. So she wanted to kind of relieve this tension. So she gets these guys to start smack talk. How much did you not want to see that? I was like, I don't want to see these guys smack talk at all.
I didn't either, but I appreciated the ones that made light of it.
So embarrassing. Like, how embarrassed are you when you're out like with this group of like guy friends and like one of them gets in a fight with somebody? Like, it's just embarrassing. Nobody likes that.
No.
I know.
It's the world's worst reading challenge. The worst possible reading challenge that you could ever endure is these guys talking smack.
No. So this is where your favorite moment, though, is when Joe is complimenting the guys in the smack talk. I appreciate that because it shows, like, that's kind of outside of his personality to, like, be talking smack about something. So he kind of making light of it and then also showing his real personality. Sam's like, well, Montel had no chance. Like, who? Like, he stayed in quarantine for, like, a month or 2 months, like, for that? I mean, poor guy. So we hear that now Chasen is bringing the Wolverine out. Sorry. Yeah. It's like, I roll. I'm like, I don't care about Wolverine.
And his smack talk was the best because he was like, you're not going to wake up in the morning. But you're going to have to take a shower with all ice. You're not going to wake up. I'm like, so is he going to be awake or taking a shower with ice? Because you're not making sense here.
We should write out. I'm gonna go back and write out all the smack talk, and I'm gonna put it into a poem.
What is that? Poetry when they're like yelling. What is it called?
Yelling poetry. So
yeah, they're like
beat poetry or slam poetry.
Yeah, maybe that.
Beat or slam. Okay. I'll have that prepared for us next week. So. Wells is commentating with Chris Harrison. I think it's a funny bit. I kind of like this bit. How do you feel about it, Tanya? Well,
I mean, they got to have somebody to do the commentary. So guess it's time for that annual Wells appearance in the franchise.
He said, oh, you finally let me out of the bar. I'm like, well.
He's in on the joke. He's in on the joke, and he's pretty good at like doing these kinds of things. So I didn't really mind, but yeah.
And he's the only one that's really dated somebody that's like an actual celebrity. So that is something.
They're still together, yeah?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think so.
So they're all oiled up. How do you guys like oily men?
I liked a few of those oily men.
Ooh, who?
Brendan and Ben. A hot body.
It actually just reminded me of Love Island when Johnny came out all oiled up for the striptease. It was like so much oil. How much oil do you think they went through for
that entire bottle that she used on like all the guys? I don't even think she probably got through like this much of it, but Johnny would have used that whole thing.
Oil.
Like, how did you get that off in a shower? Like no amount of soap could have done that in one try.
No, not at all. Brendan has never wrestled, and that's kind of her. Were you wanting to take care of Brendan there, Brazil?
Mm-hmm. So hard.
I mean, he's okay. He's okay. It's not bad. So you could tell, though, in my opinion, of who Tayshia actually likes, because she says to Spencer and Ben, be careful. Like, she doesn't actually like seeing them get hurt. And so I thought that was telling, that, was kind of unexpected and not scripted for the producers when she's screaming out, be careful, to Ben and Spencer, who she has shown some interest in. She didn't say that about pretty much anybody else that we heard,
Mm-hmm. And also Spencer was acting wild in that basketball game. And she was like, be careful then too, because he was being so aggressive. So I think she was like, hey, Spencer, calm down. Don't get too crazy here.
From Spencer, because we know that Spencer can be a little bit of a cannon in these games. So Ed calls out Chris over because he wants to like tell him about his chronic dislocating shoulder. I was just like, it's such a loser move. I think it would have been better if he went to Tayshia maybe, but like to go to like dad, like I don't know. It just was a weird move for him to go and call over Chris Harrison to tell him about his dislocated shoulder. I was embarrassed for him.
He was like, "You're built like a brick house."
Right?
He's like, "I know, but I can't even throw a football." And someone else said, they were like, "I got money on Chasen. I'm pretty sure Ed is just glam muscle." And I was like, "That is so true."
Glamour muscles, like I thought that was such a good line.
The cut that they cut to like Chasen like stretching by the pool and then Ed lifting and scrunching up his shoulders and making like the stupidest face. I was like, the producers are so fucked up because the next scene he's like, "Oh, I have chronic dislocating shoulders." I'm like, oh my god.
So now
he took the lead. He took the lead from Bennett the day before. He's like, "Oh, I can use the injury excuse. Perfect time. I really don't want to wrestle this guy who hates me and might actually kill me based on what he's saying."
Beat his ass. Because did you see too? Chasen and Easy were going against each other in the beginning, like practice, and Ed goes, "You've got to be fucking kidding me!" Because like he was making Easy look bad, and Easy's a former football player.
Yeah, I mean, Chasen must be pretty tall, and he's pretty like
He's built.
You know, he's definitely built for sure. J-Job asked, why do we think that Ed waited until the last minute?
I bet he told the producers that he didn't want to do it, and then they were like, I mean, that was perfect. It made him look so stupid waiting till the last minute and telling Chris Harrison, like the whole, you know, like the god of Bachelor apparently.
Yeah,
why does Chris Harrison care? Tell Tayshia.
That's what I think too. But I agree though with you that it was probably producers like, why don't you tell this to Chris? Let's get that.
Just make sure you tell Chris before you go on. Like, don't worry about it. And then they're secretly
producers. Wait, have either of you two seen Unreal?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Brazil, you would actually probably really like it. Unreal is basically like a TV show about a show kind of like The Bachelorette or The Bachelor. And so it's like showing how the producers, like how they're thinking, what they're doing, and how it's all completely manufactured. It's
What's it on?
I don't know if it's on anymore. I think there was 3 seasons. Was there?
I think
Unreal.
I think it was on Lifetime Network.
Lifetime, you say? Okay.
I think so.
Really? There was like some like graphic scenes that I wouldn't think would be Lifetime friendly.
Oh, what do you mean? Lifetime? There's lots of graphic scenes and things that are like
Hallmark.
Sexy movies.
I think you're thinking of Hallmark.
Hallmark, yeah.
No, not Hallmark though. Not Hallmark
channel.
Definitely not that.
No. I'm saying that's her.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Wait, did you ever watch back in the day Roswell? Okay.
Briefly.
Only because the lead in Roswell, the girl, is the lead in the show. But if you didn't watch it, it doesn't matter. But you would really like it because you'll just be like, these producers!
Yeah. What? I swear, the ones for Bachelor and Bachelorette especially are ruthless. Like the music they play behind people's, like even if that person's not weird, but they play like the dun 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 like music behind them, make them like look weird or sound weird. So yeah, these ones are brutal.
I think you'd really, really like Unreal. It's pretty good.
I'm gonna look it up after this.
J-Job says, don't applicants have to indicate injuries on their waiver application?
Probably, because then that's probably too how they determine who goes on what dates. You know what I mean? Like someone with an actual injury. They're like, well, we're not going to send him to the wrestling one because
exactly, he can't move his shoulder or his.
I think he waited that long though because like the entire time, even before the date started, everybody knew that once it was like wrestling, that they were obviously setting it up to be Chasen versus Ed, and everyone even said that. So I feel like they were kind of like in on the joke of what was going to happen for a while and be like, yep, it's going to be Ed versus Chasen, ha ha ha. Like they knew that was going to be the climax of the date, was them to have them face each other. That's what we want to see. These guys are feuding, like let's have them wrestle. And I think as he saw how aggressive everyone was being, and then also again knowing that Chasen's literally trying to knock him out or whatever,
not wake up.
He didn't want to, make him not wake up in the morning or take an ice bath, whichever you prefer. he was like, I don't want to go against this guy. Like, I don't want to do it. So then he kind of had to like bring it up then because it was already predetermined that like that was going to happen.
Well, he was probably like psyching himself up, like pacing, be like, okay, no, I'm going to do it. No.
In reality, he should have done it. He should have not been such a little biatch and just taken a hit from Chasen. Chasen would have been crazy and like aggressive. And then he would have been like, oh my God, I got hurt. Like, but I still went in the ring for you. Not some like, do you see his traps? If he works out traps that hard, he cannot be dislocating his shoulders. His traps go up to his ears. Like, there's no way. So
the injury is nonsense. The injury is like not.
He just could.
Or maybe he has that injury and he's just like doesn't let it affect him that way every day. But it was like, well, technically, this is something that I have. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. He could have looked so much better in that situation than he did.
But he's not smart, it seems. So that's why that didn't play out a little bit better. So Chase doesn't have a partner now to battle. So the audience is obviously the other men that didn't go on this particular date because they don't have anybody else quarantined. They should quarantine fans or like audience members. How awesome would that be to like get a vacation for the Bachelorette so you could be the perpetual audience? Huh. I'm gonna send that idea to freaking like
sign me the
ABC or something. So Noah decides to take on this challenge to win Tayshia's heart and jumps the fence to go after Chasen. Now, how do you think Ed feels that this like little 25-year-old pup, we'll say, decides to like be ballsy enough and like stand up to Chasen?
Probably embarrassed because he allowed for that to happen. So, like, people can blame Noah all they want, but they were asked if anybody wanted to jump in, and he jumped in. So that personally is Ed's fault because he's the one who forfeited doing that matchup to begin with. So
Noah showed up.
And then so Chasen won hands down. And after Tayshia decides to invite Noah to the after party, which was making everybody else really, really upset. I didn't really think it was that big of a deal because he did become part of the date with him jumping the fence. So
I had no problem with that.
Me too. And I thought that maybe Ed should have been off the date because he didn't do all the participation. Like that would have been drama. They should have given that to us. So Chasen at the after party puts the belt down on the table to show that like he was the winner. He's so cool.
No, he actually said, "I'm putting this right in front because we're all winners."
Oh my God!
Pretending like he's being the good guy, but like he's definitely was a power move. It's like, hey, remember, guys, I won this. And so Tayshia who called her over first? Because she didn't want to go right away. Was it Chasen that called her?
No, it was Bennett. Or no.
Yeah,
it was the other one where it was Bennett first. It was the other group date where it was Bennett first, and she's like, "Can I just say hi first?" But in this one, Noah pulls her first, and then that pisses everybody off more.
Yeah, that's right.
Because they're like, "How dare he come on our date and also take her first?" But again, why not?
He wouldn't have said yes. But I was actually surprised with the last time that she said no flat out like that to Bennett. And then who was it that asked her right after? And
Chasen.
It was Chasen. Okay, I'm just going to confuse the time. These people, man.
Yeah. Well, they had 2 dates with the same people on them. It was kind of shitty.
Confusing.
Cutting, at least. Like, yeah, they should have, I don't know.
Figured it out.
A little better.
She talks about wanting to maybe see what he looks like without his mustache. And so I don't really see how that whole mini date ended, but then he went and got, I guess, a razor and comes back and intercepts Tayshia's date with Jordan. And Tayshia said yes. I wish that she hadn't said yes to that. I wish that she had been like, hey, wait a second, I'll come grab you in 2 minutes, But they go, shaved his upper lip. He's like, I just really wanted to kiss you. Like, I haven't done this in a while yet. And like wants to kiss her without the mustache, blah, blah, blah. Do you guys think he looks better or worse without the mustache?
He looks better without the mustache.
Yeah, absolutely. That mustache was so creepy.
Yeah, it was
creepiness, but I think it's just that he doesn't have a personality. So that's why he has a mustache.
He basically said that himself. He was like, I'm less funny without this mustache. I'm like, oh, so you're using it so people think you're funny. That's nice.
I get it.
Quirky.
That's so embarrassing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like his personality is having a wacky mustache. So take that away, and where do you go from there?
He's probably like, gosh. Totally built into his personality. Sam says, I feel that the guys are too immature. The guys are too mature. It continues. Noah is just trying to get the best opportunity to meet Tayshia. Absolutely. The guys need to step up their game. That's true though. Like if they're gonna let this 25-year-old kid like dominate your date, like you're doing something wrong. Mary says, hi Mary, how are you doing? In a while, or you in a while? So they kiss, whatever, blah, blah, blah. That date is over. And that's pretty much it for the episode. Did I miss anything?
There's one very important moment from the date where Ben thinks that he can wait all night because thinks that he can wait all night because he's very confident, and then actually waits too long. And Tayshia has to say, the night's over, Ben, which is so cringe. Well,
because he's like, I'd actually, before like, you make the toast, I'd like to can I take you for a minute? And she's like, well, I kind of wish that you had done this a little bit sooner. Like the night's done. I was like,
I was so happy she put him in his place though. I was like, fucking get it, girl.
It was very shocking, and I was here for it, and I was happy that he looked kind of dumb, because it's like, why are you playing this game? If you want to go talk to her, go talk to her. You don't have to know how much time you're gonna have. Like,
it's not gonna matter if you go first, sixth, seventh, eighth, last. Like, if it's there, it's there. Like, she'll remember.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that is an important. I did make a note of it. I don't know why I didn't even see it. But I'm wondering if she's just kind of doing that just because he's a front runner, or like she's super attracted to him, like you guys have been saying, and she doesn't give him too much right now. She's playing it a little bit cool, like Claire just could not do.
Claire couldn't do that with a gun to her head.
No, like just play it a little bit cool, man.
Claire's so
It's so embarrassing, Change Jobs. It was really, really bad. Do you guys in the chat have any other comments or anything else about the episode that you want to talk about? You ladies, anything else that we missed other than that?
You should replay the end of the episode. I'm just kidding.
I don't have. Oh, actually, maybe I could. Hold on. See how
so cute.
How cute up I am here. I definitely liked that. And actually, we can watch maybe the
preview for next week.
Yeah, hold on.
This is actually perfect timing. I was gonna have to hop off. Sorry,
I don't want to hear that. Commercials, sorry, girl.
I have to go look at a new apartment.
Ooh.
Honestly, though, I hate commercials.
I'm only human after all. I'm only human after all. Don't put your blame on me.
It's like, why can't I see a commercial? It's coming. But like, isn't that terrible? Why do I have to watch a commercial? Like, in these kind of moments, I've watched them all already.
We craft distinctive words.
There's 8? Okay, I'm not going to wait through 8.
No, it's okay.
Never mind, guys. I know that was going to be exciting, but...
someone commented, Zabia, I'm sorry. Also, Noah got the rose, which is...
Yes, he did.
Oh! He straight up said he's not going to get the rose. He's not going to get the rose.
I wouldn't have pictured him to get the rose, but I didn't really see her have any other moments with anybody else that date. So I would have probably given him the rose too, because he's the only one that kind of took any initiative to want to see her, really, you know?
It's really telling that she didn't give Chasen the rose, the winner of the competition. It's almost like it doesn't matter who won at all, you know? Like, but I'm glad she didn't, because also forget.
Like she gave it that she gave it to a guy that wasn't even initially on the date.
No. But Noah did the most. He really did. He jumped the fence. He wrestled. He took the L and shaved the mustache. Had good spirits about it, and
it was like
got the rose. So who else deserves it more? Really, at the end of the day,
Nobody. Well, I mean, the episode wasn't great, but it was like typical Bachelor, as I've coined now, back to Bachelor messiness. I hope though that like we see a little more connection next date. I'm not really that into seeing any more of Chasen and Ed fighting. Like, storyline's done in my opinion. So if I'm thinking as a producer, the 2-on-1 has to be next week. I don't think we can go through this another week after that. So I'm assuming that there'll be a 2, and maybe Riley will be getting a 1-on-1 if he wasn't on any of these group dates this particular week. Maybe that's
maybe because Brendan got the one last week and then wasn't in this episode pretty much at all,
except for when he got oiled up.
Oof.
So Brazil, are you doing anything right now online that maybe people want to follow you for, or you know, you doing any online games, or what's up?
I don't know. Are we playing an online game in December?
I sent in my food list.
So Chantele and I are doing our second go around at Big Brother All Stars. Well, we were in different seasons. She won season 3, I won season 4, and now we're asked back for All Stars season 5. So that starts December 1st, I think. It's a 90
hours. That's why I didn't want to do it. I'm like 85. It was so long.
Yeah.
And then season 4, I like Reality Realness. It was happening over the beginning of quarantine. So I was like, okay, let's cover it so we can make this little like online reality game just to have a little bit more stakes. And like we did exit interviews with everybody that came out of the house. And so it was kind of fun. And so I was also like, I kind of also want to do Reality Realness for Big Brother. It's cheesecake, because you win a Cheesecake Factory gift certificate. So I did get Nick Rovers and Lindsay to be Reality Realness. And so 2 people that have played before that are our friends are going to be taking care of the season. And so it's definitely very unique, because we'll say the host, Andrew, he likes interesting characters that he likes to play, as himself being Andrew Moonves. And so it might be hard to get into, but there still will be content of people like actually playing Big Brother. So if you guys want to tune into that, I'll put actually in the comment box below the link to at least to Andrew's maybe last season. We'll do last season so people can go and catch up on Brazil's season where she takes the W. So she's the defending champion right now. And I'm going to see if I can snatch that back.
I don't know if I could do 90 days. I might throw it.
Are you two pre-gaming? No, like I know everybody that's playing for the most part. So
it's kind of, like everyone talks already. So
I don't know if it's a pre-game thing. I think there's going to be an unspoken rule, you know, or like
obviously
things that don't need to be said. We'll say, but yeah, Jay Jobs, like it's really silly. I have to warn you, because watching the videos that Andrew does every day are of a particular taste, and so I never have to look at it really lightly. So
sometimes it's not our personalities. Sometimes it's what Andrew wants our personalities to do or say.
He gives us a voice. Like my voice was Miss Piggy. And so anytime he talked about anything that I did, he would do it in Miss Piggy voice. What was your voice, Brazil? I can't remember. Oh,
Joanne.
Which one?
Joanne.
Oh, then that's like the sex crazed woman. So he's like living his, improv acting dreams, playing all these characters like a schizophrenic man that has all these in his head, Watch Matt's promo. No, girl, I did not. Do either you have to go, or can I find that really quickly?
Yeah, I just have to hop off by 2:30.
2:30. Okay, so 3 minutes. Let's see if I can find it in 3 minutes. Matt James, The Bachelor.
You're playing Chantele. I had a feeling you were going to, but
only because I'm playing another game right now where I hate everybody on it so much that
you don't want to leave a bad taste in your mouth.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't quit because I hate them so much. I can't let them win, but like, I'm in a really bad spot. I have to win immunity basically every time. That Jane's The Bachelor promo. We'll see.
Haters.
Oh, I mean, but they can't, like, it's like, if they knew who I actually was, there was no way that they'd be such an asshole to me.
Yeah, but still, like, mob mentality is never fun.
Yeah, no, I'm totally getting bullied. And they're like, why are you playing the victim? And I'm like, because you're bullying me. Like, fuck off. And so they're all on, I'm not even speaking to any of them right now. They're like, I'm just like, I'm not bothering. And they just keep on messaging me. I'm just like, nah, I'm not talking to you guys.
Yeah, what's the point? Why waste your energy?
Exactly. Like, I was pitching a fake plan, and then they went and like spread it to people. Like, it was a good plan. Like, we should put aside like our differences and like work together because nobody would see it coming. Blah blah blah. Like, fake plan, but something that we could actually do. And then she's like going around being like, yeah, Cher's plan is, this is Cher's plan. Like, completely making fun of me. I was like, whatever, Helen, you can get out of here.
Helen.
She's playing from Helen from The Bachelor, or from Bridesmaids. Okay, is this it? Okay, let's get this going. Okay, this sounds exciting, actually.
I'm so excited. I want to see. Okay, I'll tell you if I see my friend. So my friend, she didn't make it past night 1, but she was there. So her name's it'll probably say Cassandra, which is so weird because we call her Cass. Cash. We call her Cash. Sorry.
Okay. This is for you, Zabia. Brazil, are you watching?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Let's get this and this coming.
And I'm not wearing pants.
Okay.
Oh my God! What freaking mansion are they at?
The women are literally falling for you.
Matt is a delicious man.
Cheers to falling in love. You've never been in love. I haven't. My job is to change them.
The queen has arrived. Beware. What just happened was not okay.
You feel ready for this?
I think she may have been the one that tripped.
Stop.
No, that looks like her from the back. I don't know. I have to ask her.
That looks like a good promo.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
Slick. Well, that's all I got. Do you have anything that's coming down the pipe, Tanya?
No, I mean, I guess we're in lockdown again. Sorry, that's not funny. It's not funny, but that's where we're at. We'll see what happens, but I'm just gonna be
talk to Michelle and I about the challenge.
I might just, yeah. I might just.
Okay. All right, well, that's all I've got. I'll put the link in there for you guys to endure 85 days of cheesecake Big Brother with
3 months.
It's so long. Yeah, I'll put the link in the bio. If you haven't done so already, please just subscribe down over there. It's really helpful for us to try to get to that 1,000 subscriber mark. We're getting close. We're almost at the halfway point. So if we can get there by the end of the year even, that would make my Christmas. That would be so awesome. So please share this with anybody you think that would love to rant with us about The Bachelorette or any other reality shows. And if there's one that I'm not covering that you want to talk about, I will definitely do so. So let me know in the comments what you're thinking. Please, you're welcome, J Jobs. Please ring the bell so every time we go live, you will be notified, especially if it's on an off time than usual. And then like this video if you didn't mind it. So any final thoughts, ladies, or is it just deuces?
Team Brendan.
Team Brendan, I guess. Yeah, I'm still team